Hello, hello. Hello, there's me. How are we doing? Tom Grant here. How are we doing? All the way from Glasgow, Scotland, a wintry Glasgow, Scotland. And I am here to bring you Jannik Sinner versus Francis Tiafoe in the quarterfinals of the Vienna indoor event. It's already started. Sinner having a comfortable service hold, we think 40 love up. I'm sure we will have the scores, etc., up for you very, very shortly. But get involved. I've not spoken to you guys in a while in terms of the commentary. I was on last week. There wasn't too many of you guys joining me. There we go. There we have the score. Lots to discuss, lots to dissect. What has been going on in the tennis world since I last spoke to you guys. So yeah, get involved. I want to see the regulars giving us some chat, giving us some banter, and let's see where we go tonight. Where do we think this one's going to go tonight? Jannik Sinner versus Francis Tiafoe. A bit of background on this one. Of course, these two met last year, actually, in this event, and it was a wee bit frosty, a little bit meaty in terms of Francis Tiafoe getting his only win against Jannik Sinner, and I think he was doing a wee bit of over exuberance in his celebrations. He had the crowd on his side, and I don't think mellow man Jannik Sinner took it kindly. So will we see it again tonight? It's 1-0, as you can see, to Jannik Sinner. Francis Tiafoe. Hello. Anastasia is kindly jumped in, and she's going to be producing tonight. Miles might be joining us. Miles David. For anyone who follows tennis, they must know the name Miles David. He should be joining us from the States as well. And so, hello, yes, Anastasia, I can see you typing in the higher Tom bit, but no, I cannot hear you as yet. But we've got the scoreboard up, we've got the tennis on. Francis Tiafoe, it's 15-all. Good scoreboard, and my stream, it's matching up. One of the few times I found it has. So yeah. Let's see what happens. I'll talk you through this point if anyone who's not seen a good forehand there down the line by Francis Tiafoe, but Jannik Sinner picks it up. They're now exchanging backhands. Jannik Sinner changes it up a little bit. He's on the stretch this time with a forehand. Tiafoe comes into the net. Good volley by Tiafoe, and Sinner puts the winner away. And this one's going to be good. Is it going to be anywhere near as good as the Zverev-Rublev match that we've just watched? That one was a real good arm wrestle of a tussle. A really good contest there, and this one's already a light with a fantastic winner by Jannik Sinner. Have I caught any other matches? Good question, Anastasia. Well, I did watch the Zverev match just there. I'm trying to think. It's hard to decipher sometimes which ones you've watched from Vienna and which ones you've watched from Basel. I watched Fritz Shevchenko. I believe that was in Basel. And then I also watched Murray, in his two matches. The usual slog from Andy, and the 3 other match against Echeverry, who I don't know, does anyone know the score of the Druna see it out? He had match point when I jumped onto this stream against Thomas Echeverry in Basel. Of course, Felix coming up next. He is the defending champion in Basel. Yeah, Runa's just won. Okay. Good to know. So we've got Holger Rune, and we'll discuss Holger Rune and his new coaching arrangement and his hatless attire. He's ditched the backward cap, and he is choosing just to let those blonde locks flow, a bit like myself. Can I still get away with calling those blonde? I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to the tennis. 30 on the Tiafoe serve. Okay, Sinner deep into the deuce court. Tiafoe catches it. Forehand to forehand. Now back forehand by Sinner. And backhand by Sinner this time. It looks like he's getting pummeled a wee bit by Tiafoe, but he's matching up to it every single time. Bit of a miss hit there from Swinner. A drop shot attempt by Tiafoe. It goes into the net, and we have our first break point of the match. Sinner is really, he's hitting the ball sweetly right now. He's finding the spot, the middle of the racket. The timing's all on. Pre-match, I did think, Tiafoe's form's been a bit lukewarm. Francis, big foe. His form has been a little bit lukewarm. And Sinner, is hot right now. I know he got beaten a few weeks ago by Shelton in Shanghai, but he got his own back a couple of rounds ago. I quite fancy him for this event, if I'm being honest. And we've got the Paris draw. The Paris draw has been made in the last hour. The Paris Masters draw. So we'll go through that when we get a chance. But right now, Big Foe has just hit a double fault on break point, and Sinner has a 2-zip lead already. Looking good for the Italian. Get involved, get in the chat, give me some banter, give me some chat. I'm going to kind of talk about right now, just looking, Wayne Ferreira has got his head in his hands a little bit there. Of course, involved with Francis. Just looking at the draw, obviously the big guns are back in town. Holger Rune, of course, winning this event last year, beating Djokovic from a set down in the final. There you can see Holger, capless Holger. Is this a new Holger Rune we're seeing? Post Wimbledon. The guy did not have a lot of form. He was clearly injured, but he kept on playing. Is this a new Holger Rune? Of course, Boris Becker in his box these days. Do you think Boris will last? Do you think he'll be able to deal with maybe some tantrums from Holger? Is that being unfair? I think we will go through. I had it on my schedule list. We will talk about the race because I've got that in front of me, and I think Rublev qualified over the last few days. I think Tsitsipas is pretty much there. Same with Zverev. I don't see him, with the points that are on offer next week. Of course, he was out last year. So I think Zverev is pretty much there. So I really think there's probably one space up for debate, and the longer Holger goes in, I think he's number 8 for me. Tell me differently. Tell me, make an argument for anyone else can make that 8th spot, or maybe even the 7th or 8th spot. But in my opinion, I think the race to Turin is already settled, and it will be the 8 that we have right now. That is, of course, Djokovic, Alcaraz, Medvedev, Sinner, Rublev qualified yesterday, I think it was, Tsitsipas, Zverev, and Holger Rune. I think they are the 8 you will see in Italy. As the players rally again, we're on 30-15 on the Sinner serve, and Tiafoe just clips the top of the net and it goes wide. And we're on 40-15, about to have a little sit down. So where are you all? Let's get chatting. Hello, Terry. Okay, Terry makes a good point there. Talking about, I mentioned Holger Rune and maybe his youth, shall we say. He's somebody who's very temperamental. Let's be diplomatic about it. I wondered when I heard the news about Boris. Will Boris, deal with that? Will he just cut him off? Go, no, I'm not dealing with this. But Terry makes the point. Boris handled Djokovic's tantrums. He'll manage Rune easily. Okay, well, we hope to see it. And Francis Tiafoe going for a running winner, a running passing shot there that just went over the baseline. So it's 3-love to Jannik Sinner. Tiafoe doesn't seem to be quite dialed in as yet, but yeah, it's very early in the match. Lots of twists and turns, and that's one of the reasons why we follow this sport. While they sit down, will we look at the Rolex Masters Paris 1000 draw? Okay, good question again by Anastasia. You asked me if I watched anything earlier on in the event. Last night I was on Tiafoe versus Gael Monfils. Obviously, Monfils won the first set and then just had all sorts of problems with his legs. And at that point, I actually turned it on, missing the first set, turned it on midway through game 1 of set 2. And I think I saw Monfils win 2 points out of the first 5 games of the set, something like that. Like, the commentators at one point were talking about if he hadn't won a point at 40-15 on the Tiafoe serve, it could have been a 24-0 set. So yeah, I agree, Terry. I think, he's quite fortunate. I was going to ask you guys out there, talk to me about Tiafoe's season. For me, he had a great 2022 US Open. It felt as if, he was putting all his eggs into, having this big US Open again, and it didn't transpire, as well as it did the previous year. And I just wonder, where do you put Frances Tiafoe in the, echelons of the top 20 right now? Is he a guy who's dangerous to the big players? Or is he just, is he always going to be one of these guys who, can have a decent run when maybe some of the top seeds aren't there? He made waves probably this time last year in New York, and we thought, this guy can move on. But just for me, it felt as if New York was his main aim this year, and obviously why not? And he put all his eggs in one basket, but I've not seen too much more from him. But again, I'm here to be, my wings have to be clipped. So just tell me if you disagree. What do you think? Describe me Frances Tiafoe's season. Does he need to win an event? I know he has. I think didn't he Washington? Let me get my stats. The ATP site is my stats. Somebody correct me or quickly tell me what you think of Tiafoe's season. Well, I have a look at this. Yeah, going good so far for Frances in this game. He's 3-love down, as you can see. He has he's I think it's 30-15. I thought he'd won. Oh yeah, a passing shot straight to the volley. Yeah, he's actually won 2 titles. My mistake. I knew the one was on clay in Houston, so I said I knew it was in North America. In Stuttgart, of course, in the grass. So fairly decent season. His best season, really, in terms of title wins. But should, in your guys' opinion, Frances, where is he? I don't know. He's a bit like Alex de Minaur. I'm not too sure. Where they sit in the kind of hierarchy of the tennis world right now. But I'm here for the discussion. That's why it is Talking Tennis. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You can also become a member and you get perks. There's going to be a lot more content coming in 2024 in terms of events, exclusive interviews. So yeah, let us know. Matthew, good to see you again. Not heard from you in a while, Matthew. No surprise that Tiafoe has tailed off after that Shelton loss at the US Open. He's been demotivated and ready to end his season. Yeah, I agree. I think you say, yeah. I mean, Anastasia looks like she's agreeing with me as well. It looked like to me he was putting all his, wants and needs into Flushing Meadows, and he didn't really have a plan B. Right, where else does his season go? Saying that, 2 titles. The last time he won a title was in 2018 at Delray Beach. So yeah, I'm sure he'll sit down in the close season, the 3 weeks close season, and say, I've had a decent year. I just wonder where does Tiafoe go now next year? What's his targets? What's his goals for next year? Surely needs to be looking at quarterfinals, semi-finals again at the majors. As you can see by the scoreboard, 3-1 to Jannik Sinner. And he's just had an absolute creamer of a forehand right into the corner, the postage stamp, as you would call it in football. Massive hitting, massive from the young Italian. Really impressed by here's Anastasia telling us, yeah, good season for titles, but he's not had great slams. His Wimbledon match comes to mind. Yeah. He's just been a bit lukewarm for me. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Another big backhand from Sinner this time. He does a leaping backhand again. He's totally in control of this rally right now at 15-love up on his serve, and this is good tennis. This is top class tennis, and this just shows me what we've just spoke about. Where is Frances, and can he handle the big guns? These guys are overtaking him now, and Frances is he's a character. He's well loved on tour. So yeah, let me know. Anyone else want to talk about the Paris draw? Has anyone seen the Paris draw? Do we need to go through it line by line? Is there any matches that stand out for you guys? Let me know in the chat. Again, hit subscribe, give me a follow. It's going to be a big 2024 for the Talking Tennis channel, and myself hopefully going to get to a few events and try and bring you guys some content. So yeah, let us know. Give us a follow on X or Twitter, as it is it's better known, shall we say. 30-15 on the center serve, second serve, total miss it from Francis Tiafoe, and it's 40-15, and so far it's been pretty plain sailing, but it's because Sinner is absolutely dialed in. Okay, so just to kind of go through a couple of, and I'll start with a bit of home bias. I saw a friend of the channel, Scott Barkley, who of the Murray Musings podcast, he wrote about Andy Murray and Alex de Minaur, and I think the sentiment was that there are some long-time married couples who haven't seen each other as much as these two. And yes, Andy Murray has drawn 13th seed Alex de Minaur in the first round of the Indoor Paris Masters. Of course, Andy Murray, probably one of the hardest defeats to take more recently, when Andy Murray was so close to beating an in-form Alex de Minaur, and it just didn't quite come off from him. And I can remember watching it, and I think the sentiment was shared by Scott and Claire about the way that Andy lost that one. So they face again, Alex de Minaur and Andy Murray. So yeah, Scott's quite right. These two have seen each other quite a lot over the last 8 to 9 months. As you can see on screen, a couple of tasty ties there. Davidovich, Vakina and Shelton. How entertaining is that going to be? That's one to make sure that you are sitting down, watching, and enjoying. What else have we got? We've got Tommy Paul, Richard Gasquet. Okay, of course, Gasquet is a wild card, but he's a homeboy. So Tommy Paul Gasquet could be interesting. What else we got? We've got Hachinov, Max Purcell. Quite like that. Max Purcell, doing well, improved so far in the last 4 or 5 months. You've got Musetti Dimitrov again. That was, of course, played this week as well. Korda Hurkacz, that's one that stands out for me. Batista, good to see him back. And Yuri Lehechka. So yeah, Matthew, I think that's a good point Matthew makes. Talking about buys at slams. That's why I really like this Vienna draw. The fact that it was just, here's your draw, deal with it, beat the players that are put in front of you. I mean, you had a Shelton Sinner first round, you know what I mean? And that's the way that I like a draw, because, look, I know these players have earned the right. I think myself and James were talking about it earlier in the week. We commentated. God, I can't even remember what match it was. It was one that was fair. Oh, it was the final. Was it not the final? The final on Sunday, and it's total what's happened in my life, so I can't quite remember exactly. But we commentated on it. It was a straight set sets for Bublik. That was it, the Bublik final. Myself and James, and we were talking about how hard it is. It's easier to stay in the top 32, top 30, 32, than it is to actually break into that, because of the draws, etc., that come with a seeding. Back to the tennis, just in case anyone who is unable to get to a stream. We are at 30 all. A few unforced errors creeping into the Tiafoe game. He's looking a bit despondent right now. This set could be fairly short-lived. I'm sure we'll see a rejuvenated Francis Tiafoe in the second set. But it looks like he's on his way to giving up this one. First serve goes into the net. Sinner, as I said to you, and I'll stop saying it, but he does look dialed in. He goes commentator's curse. He goes long with that second serve return backhand. They had all the court to play with. It goes long, and it's game point for Frances Tiafoe. Yeah, a bit of a gift there from Jannik. No, I don't believe so, Matthew. I think everyone will be there. I just think, you know, the scheduling will be favourable to them in terms of maybe Tuesday, Wednesday matches. You know, look at Shelton this week, you know, winning, and then, you know, playing Sinner on the Wednesday night. So, yeah, I think they'll take that into account. They want the big players there. They want the informed players there. Sinner, by the way, Tiafoe just took the game there with an ace to win it. So good recovery by Big Foe. Jannik Sinner 4-2 serve out wide. Good return by Tiafoe. Picked up by Sinner, and he has Tiafoe on the stretch. And I think Francis is right now saying, "What else can I do here?" So, yeah, let's talk about the Rublev-Zverev match, guys. I thought that was a really good tussle, a really good contest. You know, I thought Rublev always had the edge. You know, probably always just a nose in front, but Zverev made it interesting, shall we say, after the 6-1 first set. And you know, it was on a knife edge for parts of that third set decider. Of course, Zverev did not break the Rublev serve at all in 3 sets of tennis. What do you think about that? Like, why? What's happened there? Of course, Zverev, you know, really good at returning and picking up the second serves, particularly. Did Rublev just serve so well? 15-all on the Sinner serve. He's serving just court to just court, and he goes down the tee. Pinpoint by Jannik. I wonder if the carrot tops in Vienna. I wonder. I was listening earlier on. If Jannik Sinner wins this one, I think it's the first time since 1991 that the top 4 seeds have made it to the semi-finals in Vienna, which is interesting. Hopefully, Anastasia, you can keep us up to date with what's going on in the Felix match in Basel. She'll be keeping an eye. Hello, Max. How are we doing? It's been very quiet on the chat so far, so hopefully, Max, you're going to bring it tonight. Is it Vegas? Remind me of Vegas you're in? I might be wrong there. I think I'm wrong. I think you're close to Cincinnati. Remind me, Max. Please remind me. I think there's somebody that stays close to Vegas, and there's somebody that stays in Cincinnati. And I can't quite remember it. My feeling. I can't even remember who I commentated on Sunday. I do really. It was Bublik Arthur Fields. Because I did it with James, and James was going big time for Arthur Fields. I was in France a week and a half ago for the first time. What a place. Loved it. I was in Lille, close to the Belgian border. And I absolutely love France. Hoping to return them. Thinking about Montpellier 250 at the end of January. If anybody wants to join me and say hello, have a brewski. Thinking about that. So yeah. So we're at 30-40. Tiafoe's got a break point here. It's come out of nowhere, really. But Sinner snuffs it out. Ace down the tee. Shevchenko has broken Felix Auger-Aliassime in the first game and is serving now. Anastasia will keep us up to date in that one. I will keep you up to date here in the Sinner Tiafoe match. Tiafoe has just failed to convert his first break point due to Jannik Sinner, you know, dominating and pulling out the big serve. He goes cross court with a forehand deep there, returned by Tiafoe, backhand to backhand. That's wild by Sinner, wild. And he's he's shown that he's human. and he's not playing with the same intensity as he was earlier in the match. Terry Leal, I think is it's an hour on the TVR, is it they call it, which is the fast train, something we don't have here in the UK, by the way, and controversial. And so we got off Charles de Gaulle Airport, and it took us an hour on the train to get to Lille, and a nice wee place that is. So yeah, really good, really friendly people as well, believe it or not. As Jannik Sinner snuffs out a second break point with a big serve, not an ace, but it was unreturnable by Francis Tiafoe. He's going to go wide here. He does go wide. Good serve, good return. Well, it looked a good return, but it went long. And Jannik Sinner looks like he is going to push out the danger that Francis Tiafoe has presented with him. What about Tsitsipas Medvedev? That's going to be an interesting one tomorrow. I'll certainly be getting the popcorn out for that one. Remember Dance Gate, each choosing to dance as they overcame the other over the last couple of years. Will we see any dancing tomorrow? I hope so. I might even be called in to cover that one. So that should be a tasty one as well. I'm just trying to quickly look at the draw. Sinner sees out, and it's 5-2. Really good play. Of course, Carlos Alcaraz back after injury. How fit will he be? And he has the potential to face Alexander Müller, hometown favourite, or Cameron Norrie. Of course, a bit of a roller coaster season for him. Started off the year so well, beating Alcaraz, but the potential of facing them in round 2 of Paris. Try to see if it ended with Stav Wawrinka, Matteo Arnaldi. There we go. Good timing, good producing there by Anastasia Dansky. Did you like that term, Terry? Good producing there by Terry. I speak about Alcaraz and his return, and Anastasia pulls up his tweet saying that he's getting better every day and he'll be playing Paris-Bercy and Turin. His debut in Turin. It feels like he's been around for so long, but his debut in Turin, of course, injured last year. Got injured around about this time of the year, didn't he? In the indoor season. I remember I'm playing Holger Rune and then having to retire, I think, in the semi-final, maybe at Paris, was it? Or I made that up. But anyway, this time last year he was injured, didn't make Turin, missed Australia actually as well. But yeah, he is back, and looking to make his mark again. Still has a slim chance of getting the year-end number 1, but he's going to have to win some matches, of course, to do so. Might have a Norrie Alcaraz rematch, but Norrie hasn't played well. Yeah, I'd probably side with Müller on that one, but you never know. Cam Norrie can. Oh, what a shot by Jannik Sinner! A serving volley attempt by Francis Tiafoe. He picked up the volley, but Sinner picked off him with a fantastic passing shot. He's love 15 down, 5-2. So we could be, the end might be near for this first set. Okay, what else we got? Where's Ghost these days? I've not heard or seen from Ghost in quite a while. I hope he's okay. Yeah, everything usually on these streams must be just enjoying the tennis, just enjoying bamming up somebody else somewhere. But yeah, no Ghost tonight. I don't believe. You might be in the background, Ghost. I don't know. Okay, we're at 30-15. Tiafoe, the scoreboard on your screen, slightly behind. It's 40-15 now. Good first serve down the tee. Can only be pushed wide by Jannik Sinner. He's going to make the Italian serve for it. I'm sure we'll see a big serve here, won't we? Just got down the tee. Big serve it was. He's came into the net. Didn't really do too much with the pickup volley. And he's now got all the court. That was poor. Good return by Sinner, but really Tiafoe should have done more with the pickup volley. Didn't do enough. He's scratching his head going, what was I playing at there? Let's see it. Yeah. Really good play. Yeah. Tiafoe could have probably put that away as a volley as opposed to letting it bounce. But I suppose easier said than done when sitting here watching it on a replay. Second serve. Forehand to forehand here, both players. Great forehand. Is that? Oh, that's made it there. What a shot. Shot of the match from Francis Tiafoe. So on the bounce, took it early, drilled it down the line, and it's caught the line. And he is 3-5 down. How's everyone feeling though? Bit of a cold going around my household right now. So if you can see me scratch my nose, just trying to, I can feel a bit of the sniffles coming on. Don't worry, I cannot infect you guys over the internet. So we will see. But yeah, bit of a sore throat, bit of a sore throat and a sniffle coming on. Okay, Jannik Sinner. 5-3-7 for the set. Of course, these guys have faced each other 3 times before. 2-1 to Sinner, but Francis Tiafoe won here last year. Puts a block return on the second serve, long. Last year, Sinner won the first set 6-3, by the way, last year. And then Tiafoe took it 7-5, 6-2. So, you know, if history was to repeat itself, it's going that way as Tiafoe nearly smashed his racket after putting one long. He'd guessed right. But yeah, the shot was so good from Jannik Sinner that he just pushed it long. So we're 30 love, 2 points away from the end of the first set. I'm going to take a quick break if it does finish here, but we'll play some content in between as Jannik Sinner tries the old 1-2 wide serve and then punches it down the middle, and he wrong foots Tiafoe, who holds his hands up in exasperation, and he wonders what else he can do. As I said last year in Vienna, in fact, sorry, 2021. I'm getting my years wrong. 2021 in Vienna, 2 years ago. Sinner won the first set 6-3, only for Tiafoe to take the match in 2 hours, 18 minutes. So do not write him off if Jannik Sinner sees out this point. Second serve, down the tee. Really good serve, strong serve there. And 6-3 set, Jannik Sinner. Really comfortable, dialed in at the first part of the set. Tiafoe crept a little bit back and had a couple of chances, didn't take them. And the story of the set is that is Jannik Sinner with the advantage. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, but I will be back in 3.
If there's one match from Rafa's story where you think that was a missed opportunity, there was a big chance.
There have matches
2
or 3 in Australian Open. No more. We lose the opportunity in Wimbledon against Djokovic in semi-final.
2018.
Then we lose the opportunity, more important because that was semi-final. We lose the opportunity in Australian Open. In the Australian Open 2014, 2012 and 2017.
Yeah.
In 14 because he has an injury against Wawrinka that before he had never lose against him. Then with Djokovic and Federer, he had breakup in the 5th.
Yeah.
And 40-30 or 30-50. I don't remember well. It was a ball very close, goes up. But this is what happened there was in Roland Garros 2009. Of course, I am sure that he won. He will win. He won this tournament when he has no problems in his knee, because at this moment he was the best. He won Australian Open, then he won the tournaments on clay, and he arrived with problems in Roland Garros. For this reason, in my opinion, he loses. But there are others time that maybe he has to lose and he won.
No toilet breaks for these guys, only toilet breaks for me. These guys want to get this done and dusted and get to their bed. So only the one breaker serve in set one. That's all it took for Jannik Sinner to take out Frances Tiafoe in that one. Oh, something a bit odd there. Looks like not an injury, hopefully. A bit of a strange point, that one. Jannik Sinner had the whole cart and it looked like he slipped a little bit and maybe jarred his left ankle a little bit. He's walked it off, but he's hit the top of the net. And Frances Tiafoe 15-0 in this first game of the second set. I need to hear from you guys. So talk to me. Max, remind me where you are talking to us from. Terry, where are you talking to me from? I'm sure you've told me before in the past. My memory is terrible. As Frances Tiafoe shimmies a little bit, a wee bit of a dance there, as he takes out Sinner there with a forehand down the line. Wrong foot's Sinner. I have got a feeling here that Frances Tiafoe is going to show us something in this second set. Not saying he's going to win the match, but I think I've just got a wee sneaky feeling. I called Bublik on the Arthur Fees final on Sunday. My colleague James had said Fees would win it, but no, Bublik for me was looking strong all week. Of course, he went out. Sinner's hit the net. What's this saying? Anastasia, talking tennis for a follow from the Carota boys recently. Should give them a shout. Did they start following us? Is that what you're referring to? Producer Anastasia, I think, is inferring that the Jannik Sinner fan club, who follow him about most places, are following Talking Tennis. So we should get them on. And we do a Jannik Sinner match with them. How about that? As I said to you, big things going to be happening in 2024. Few things in the works. It's going to be a big year for tennis, and of course Nadal potentially retiring. You've got how long will Andy Murray go on for? You've got the Alcaraz Djokovic rivalry hotting up. You've still got Holger Rune, Jannik Sinner on the ATP side of things, and obviously on the WTA this week they're in Cancun. Will that stadium be finished in time? Somebody was telling me about Vondrousova's cheeky Instagram post was the 8 players with their faces superimposed on bodies of builders. So yeah, will that stadium in Cancun? There we go. Anastasia's the best. There we go, Anastasia. Do you want to enlarge that one for people, just in case they can't see? There we go. Look at that. I think I seen somebody saying tweet of or post of the year. So that's the 8 finalists, WTA finals in Cancun. Stadium's still getting built, and I think it kicks off on Sunday, or it's due to. So we're 2 days away. Let's get back into this match. Tiafoe, as you can see, held serve. He's muttering something to himself. Jannik Sinner will serve 15 love at this point. The scoreboard just needs to catch up just a little bit. Do they speak tennis? Are we talking about, or do they speak English? Sorry. Are we talking about We're not talking about my... I need to slow down sometimes. When I get excited, Terry, my Scottish accent comes out. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit, just in case some people come onto the channel and say, I can't understand this guy, and then just go, screw this. Okay, 30 love to Jannik Sinner. I can see there's quite a few in the chat. Nobody actually passing comment. Come on. I think Terry means the Carota boys. Oh, right. Okay, sorry. She's yes. Right, okay. I'm with you now. I'm trying to do about 40 different things at the one time. So that's my bad. Talk to me about the ATP race, guys, then. We're here. Sinner, of course, already there. We have Rublev qualified yesterday, I think, with his win. There's 3 spaces left. Tsitsipas will be on 3,995 points. The cutoff for qualification is 4,265. I don't see Tsitsipas not making it. Same with Alexander Zverev. So is Holger Rune, is his place assured now? He is going to be on at least 3,280 with Taylor Fritz 200 odd points, 175 odd points behind him. Is it all going to come down to Paris and who does better? Good point by Vanch, of course. Vanch, who is a contributor onto the podcast. I thought that watching it, I thought the Echeverry match was going to play important. Vanch, of course. What a lob there! It comes back, but it's gone wide. Sorry, distracted again, trying to do too many things at the one time. Terry, where is it you are talking to me from? He waits in anticipation. Jannik Sinner just pulled off a lob. I've got a question for you guys, but I don't think there's enough in the chat for it. I was watching yesterday a couple of matches, and I can't quite remember what the situation was, but a couple of lobs were just sublime. And I was thinking to myself, sitting there watching on the couch, who is regarded as the best person, the best player, the best on the men's side? Let's start with the men's. Who's the best lobber of all time? People talk about who's the best single-handed backhand and who's the best volleyer, who's the best server of all time, who's the best ever. What about lob? I've never really had this conversation with anyone. Who's the best lobbing? I mean, I would say, biased, Andy Murray. It's got to be up there. You're in Paradise, sunny Cairns. Good to have you from Paradise. I'm in cold Scotland, cold, dark Scotland. It is 9:30 at night here. It's dark outside. It's cold outside. It's rainy outside. Anastasia's joining in the debate, or the discussion. Lobs, Andy Murray, Leighton Hook come to mind. There's Miles. How are we doing, Miles? Andy Murray's obviously the first one that comes to mind. Just the fact that he won Davis Cup on a lob. Who do we all consider to be the greatest at the lob action? I don't know if lobber is the right term for it, the descriptive adjective term for it. But we'll go with it. Okay, so who is the best lobber? Let us know. Miles is going to come in. So Miles from the United States is going to join us and give us his thoughts. I can pose loads of questions to Miles. I'll drum questions out of Miles, and he can add to the debate. Miles, good guy. We've not spoken, I think, a couple of months. Don't think it was the last time I did a stream with Miles. Back to the tennis where we wait on Miles. Backhand down the line. It's a really good shot by Francis Tiafoe. He's made him control of the rally and he puts it away. Really good. He's fist bump in the air. That was an important point. If you were to go to a performing arts academy, what would you pursue? Wow. Okay. What do you mean? Like, I don't do musicals, so I'm not a very good singer, so I couldn't sing, but I could probably act. Like I did a film and TV course many moons ago, about 15 years ago now. And obviously when we were learning how to make films, but obviously you had to, like, for your like college colleagues, you had to sometimes act in the that now I'm pure paranoid. Why? What was the inspiration for the question there, Max? I would say actor, by the way. But where did the inspiration for the right? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, no, I mean, as I said to you, I did a TV and film course on how to, make. It was a 2-year course, how to make films, how to edit films, and how to make documentaries. And obviously, when you're doing that, you have to, to help out your fellow students. You have to sometimes, be the actor, and if they were wanting to make a wee 5-minute drama, you have to be the actor. So basically, I was always going to told, by the way, you're not too bad at acting. There's actually, if I try and look for on YouTube, not tonight, after the stream, look for Buchanan. I'm going to type it in the chat. Buchanan View Chase. Buchanan View Chase. I think that's how you spell it. Let me just double check. I'm trying to find. In fact, I'll just put the link. Basically, it was a short film we made in college. And sorry, this is taking us down routes that we didn't, away from the tennis. Right, there we go. I'm going to give you guys this link to my acting ability, and you can watch it after the tennis. But yeah, this was me acting a lot younger, as I'm sure you'll see. Do not apologise, Max. I like us going down routes that we don't. I mean, if you've ever watched myself and Ghost on this, we end up talking about all sorts of nonsense. So yeah, click that link if and that was me acting 15 years ago. Thanks, Anastasia or John. As I think this might be Mr. Silk here. Yeah, it's probably right. By the way, I'd be the Robin Williams of the chat. Anyway, I know, Terry, I'm offended. I'm not really. So, God, that went down a route. Anyway, let me know what you think of the Buchanan View Chase. That was a short film. The remit we were given in college for the YouTube link that I've just sent was make a 2-minute film, no audio, but tell the story anyway. And me and my fellow students decided, if you watch the start of it, it's meant to be like the start that scene in Seven, the film Seven with Brad Pitt, where the killer Kevin Spacey basically starts walking towards them and then they chase them. And that was why it was called the Buchanan View Chase. So it's the inspiration is the film Seven, and that's my acting ability. And watch when I get hit by the pipe. Oh, amazing. Tiafoe trying to get the crowd going, as whoever is producing this show has mentioned. If you remember, that was a key part of the 2021 victory, I'm sure. I mentioned it right at the top of this stream, that Tiafoe had the crowd on side. He was geeing up the crowd, and Sinner didn't really take it. Mild-mannered Jannik Sinner didn't quite like it, the way that he was doing it. And maybe, perhaps, Francis Tiafoe's trying that again. He knows it gets under his skin. So maybe there's a bit of gamesmanship creeping in there, because Tiafoe is maybe running out of ideas. As another winner put away by Sinner. That's definitely John. Definitely John kicking about there, saying Tom would be a down and out teacher. It was John Silk, the producer, creator of this channel, was comparing me to Bublik, as the Bublik of talking tennis on Sunday night. I was like, what? Anyway, he called me the Bublik, and then he basically changed his mind. Okay, he did change his mind. Crowder on the site, by the way. Let's go, Francis. Let's go. Or is it let go, Big Foe? Let's go. It'll be let's go, Big Foe. Let's go, won't it? Okay, so Jannik Sinner down the line, really strong. He again hit the right part of the racket, and again by Sinner. Good defense by Tiafoe. He goes backhand cross court. Picked up slice backhand by Tiafoe, cross court by Sinner. Really good point by both. But it's Tiafoe, it's Sinner who looked the stronger. Really good hitting by both, mixing it up. I mean, Francis Tiafoe had the angle there, but if he'd made that corner, he would have won the point. But Jannik Sinner's just hit it really well. A wee 5-minute dip. Midway through that first set, but so far he's been, there's not been a blemish on his card. And again, a wide serve from ad court to out wide. And he's timed it really, really well. No idea. Didn't even notice they do that. Not a clue. Who we got? No, I've got to be honest, Terry. I'll maybe keep an eye. I'll keep an eye for it now. But I wasn't. But it's not something that I've noticed. Okay, anyone else? Give us some chat. Remember, hit the like button, subscribe, follow along. We've got a good wee community growing. I think the US Open women's final, myself and Nick did. We had something like 300, 400 people watching. And it was a really good stream. Really enjoyable. So yeah, continue to get involved. Even if you're new to tennis, get on the chat, ask questions. If I can't answer it, somebody will know it. So yeah, let us know your thoughts. We've got Love 15 on the Tiafoe serve. A little bit of danger in the air, shall we say. This would be a real blow if he doesn't hold here. Sinner has been the dominant player, let's be honest, in this match. I haven't seen too many flashes of Francis Tiafoe, and it goes back to my earlier chat. Good first serve down the tee. Good return by Tiafoe. Picked up early by Tiafoe. It's a lobbed return. Poor thing. And it was there for Jannik Sinner. That's what I'm just not convinced by Tiafoe. His decision making sometimes just isn't there. Well, yeah, to be fair, he's covered the cross-court pass there. Probably, again, decision-making by Jannik Sinner wasn't great there. So I stand corrected. Sorry, I'm reading some of your comments and getting distracted. Terry plays the piano singing out here on my own. I don't know. Terry may well be correct. I've just not something that I've particularly noticed there. we've got 35th day, 40-15 now on the Tiafoe serve. He's recovered well there. Could have been in danger at love 15, but he's recovered really, really well. Anastasia, how are we getting on in Basel? The last we heard, Shevchenko had broken the FAA serve. So he's broken back then. Felix has bounced back. Of course, the defending champion there in Basel this time last year. He went 3 events, 3 tournaments in a row, did FAA. So he's fought back. And Jannik Sinner is going to be serving at 2-3 down. But yeah, well done to Felix against Alexander Shevchenko. Of course, Shevchenko taking out Taylor Fritz. I think Taylor Fritz, did he have? I watched it. He had something like 15 break points and didn't take any of them. And he tweeted, or he put a post on Instagram because he actually did a wee 360 backhand winner. And he said something like, but I'd rather take a break point than that. So, Shevchenko defeated Fritz, and he's, as you can see, 40 love quickly. About to tie up the first set 4-all. We'll keep you up to date with that one for as long as this one goes on. We're at 3-2 Francis Tiafoe. Some service action that boy's got. It's like this. So yeah, Tiafoe comes out and I'm purely looking out for the ball kids now that Terry has raised it. Seems like a good show in Vienna. The crowd are always up for it, shouting about, chilling. I think somebody was saying earlier on it was Austria's National Day yesterday, so a lot of them are off today. Of course, a Friday night as well. A couple of beers. Couple of glasses of vino. They'll be enjoying themselves. Okay, 2-3 Jannik Sinner. Absolutely unreal. That looked like the strangest angle ever, but it was an ace and it was a winner, and it's 15 love to Jannik Sinner. That rhymed like a rapper. So we're now going Adcoat. Usually likes to go down the T with this one. Oh, Tiafoe's guessed it, but it's a put away volley. Yeah. Tiafoe's good at guessing so far, but it just seems to be Jannik Sinner's just got a little bit more in the tank than the American. As Francis, who's Mr. Tiafoe is, I'm trying to look. Oh, I said that he's got Bublik. Oh, that'll be a good one. Francis Tiafoe Bublik in the Paris Masters. That'll be a tasty one. That'll be very entertaining. There's some great ties in that draw. I really like the Fokina match, the Davidovich Fokina. Is it Davidovich Fokina Shelton? I really like that. Really like that. That's my favourite. I'm watching that one. I'll do the commentary right now, John. I will do that commentary. As long as it's not during the day, on a weekday. Okay, so where are we with the tennis? 40 love, a fairly simple, fairly comfortable hold so far for Jannik Sinner. Let first serve he has. After this one, I'll spark my second can of the evening. So, Terry or Max, do you think, by the way, Jannik Sinner has seen that one out? It's 3-all. Would I make a good actor? What kind of movies should I go for? Thriller, musicals, can't sing. Any ideas? Jane, how are we doing, Jane? Alejandro Davidovich Fokina is set to face Ben Shelton in the first round at the Paris Masters. The draw was made a couple of hours ago. And that, for me, I'm really looking forward to. I just think it's going to be just full of entertainment. Anastasia has the draw up for you there. If you have missed it, Jane, tell me a player and I will tell you who he has. But yeah, the draw has been made, and of course, starting on Monday, Alejandro. I'm not singing. I don't even know how to sing. Alejandro. Is that a song? I don't know. Exactly what we're talking about. Alejandro Davidovich Fekina. Anyway, back to tennis. Again, Sinner had love 15. Again, he hits the net on the second serve return. These are the matches. Remember, I said he won last 2 years ago. He won the first set 6-3. This year, he wins the first set 6-3. 2 years ago, Tiafoe won the second set 7-5. This year, we're at 3-0. Sinner keeps getting chances, and if I admit, that's wild. 15-30. Baron von Trapp. Is he the child catcher at a bloody Sound of Music or something? Is that right? Is he the bad guy? That's no John, by the way. I've been told differently, Terry. That's actually Anastasia. Ribbing me. Is Baron von Trapp? Is he not like the bad guy at like Sound of Music? Aye. Funnily enough, here's a story. The Scotland fans. So I travel to France and Spain. I travel around the world with the Tartan Army, as we're called. And we like to sing a song from the Sound of Music. That's one of our songs. Sinner has 2 break points here to go a break and a set up. Ooh, he tried to go down the tee, sneak him in the corner, give him the eyes, as we call it. It went out, it went wide. He's got it back in this time. A slow second serve, really good. Well played, Francis Tiafoe. Really good +1. And he has one chance left to possibly save this match. I know there's still a bit to go, but it was a really good +1 shot there by Francis Tiafoe. 30-40 down. Do a dear, a female dear, ray a drop of golden sun. Went for the ace out wide. Second serve. Jannik Sinner will be looking to get all over this one. Good return. And it's a net. It's a break of serve for Jannik Sinner. 4-3. Being described as a gift to Jannik Sinner. Didn't have to do much, really. The baby big 3. Sinner, Rune, Alcaraz, Anastasia. That's why she is the one of the best producers around. Okay, so let's talk about the coaching situation of the baby big 3, of course. First of all, let's talk about Holger Rune. I said it earlier on. I think we had a quick chat about it. Holger Rune and Boris Becker, bit left field. So what do we think? What do we think of the Sinner? Babyface is a great producer. Is that what we're calling Anastasia? Babyface? I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused. So yeah, first up, Holger Rune. What do we think about the Rune Boris Becker matchup? What are we thinking, folks? Good thing, bad thing? Somebody, I think, was it Terry that said that right at the top of the show, Boris managed to deal with a lot of Djokovic tantrums, so she surely could handle Holger Rune. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Of course, Darren Cahill. Or Cahill, I would go with as Jannik Sinner's coach, one of Jannik Sinner's coaches, along with Simone Vagnozzi. Is it Simone Vagnozzi? Vagnozzi, yeah. And then, Juan Carlos Ferrero, of course, spotted him. Carlitos, when I think he's been with him since about 13, 14, if I'm right. Boris will lead him astray off court. Yeah, Boris loves the cupboards, doesn't he? He loves the restaurant cupboards. Jannik Sinner dominating right now. Francis Tiafoe dropped off a little bit. He's just played a really poor service game. And as we say again, Jannik Sinner's got his tail up a little bit right now. And it's looking like... What do we think about you? Oh, what a passing shot from Francis Tiafoe. What a passing shot. It was more or less like just a pickup. He's just picked up on the half volley. He's got so much talent, doesn't he? But yeah, really good by Francis Tiafoe. Just when I was writing him off. But the cupboards. He loves a restaurant cloakroom, doesn't he, Boris? Stay away from the restaurant cloakrooms, Holger. Don't go to a restaurant with Boris Becker, right? Do not. If he says, let's go for something to eat, Holger, just say no. Just say, no, I'm going back to my hotel room, buddy. That's all you need to do. Anyway, 30-15, Jannik Sinner. Body serve. Good return. Good. Oh, whipped. Fierce backhand down the line. Destructive. Francis Tiafoe is just... He's got his hand in his hips going, there's nothing I can do about this. That is... No player in the world is stopping that backhand from Jannik Sinner. (40-15). Good serve again. Good return. But a good return by Francis Tiafoe. He's staying in it. Who's wanting Tiafoe to come back here and put this into a third set? So we are at 40-30. 4-3. Jannik Sinner to go a game away from the match. Good down the tee. Again, another good return. Francis, that's all he needs to do. He keeps getting it back. 2 excellent returns in a row. And we're at deuce. Can't remember there being too many deuces in this match. Maybe one previous game. So Anastasia, talk to me then. What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about Darren Cahill, Becker and Ferrero? What will each bring to their players, their respective players' games? Or Sinner from 40-15 up has just went wild with a +1. Tried to absolutely melt it. He's went wide, and Francis Tiafoe has a chance to break back. Overplaying it. Great the way to describe it. He's overplayed that point there in the big moment. Watch this though. He'll put it out. He'll absolutely nail this serve. Guarantee you. Down the tee. Down the tee. Doesn't go down the tee. Down the body serve. Tiafoe doesn't do a lot with it, but he's got it back again. A good volley by Sinner. He's picked up by Tiafoe. Smash. Again picked up by... Oh, this is a good match. He's got it over the line. He's saved the break point. Let's have a look at this. Tiafoe again guesses the right way. Good volley, even though he didn't know what he was doing with it. Good volley by Sinner, and he puts away the smash. So much so that Tiafoe couldn't return it. Really good game, really good point. We have switched to TNNS, right? Okay, tennis. We're at 4-3-40. Oh, okay. So that one's more up to date. It's advantage to Sinner. Sinner strong serve, put long by Tiafoe. And Tiafoe has relinquished the connection with his racket, but he's flung it. He's not got a code violation as far as I'm aware, but he's not been happy with that. And it's an ace by Sinner. Tiafoe is not a happy chappy. I'm going to put, here's a wee pound on it to anyone who'll take this bet. Sinner will break serve here. Tiafoe's gone. He's gone. 3-5 to Tiafoe. Tiafoe serving to stay in the match. Just over an hour long. I did the Bublik final against Arthur Feet, and it was an hour and 10-minute long. This one's going to be shorter as Tiafoe finds the net. We are in the end game, people. Miles, how are you doing?
Hey, Tom, how are you?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. I think you are maybe joining us at the end of this match as Francis looks to as if his head's he's just won that. But have you got it on?
Yeah, I've got it on. I was hoping that Tiafoe would break back right there at 3-4, but Sinner's a great player.
That was his chance. He was returning well. How have you been keeping? What's been happening in your world?
Nothing too much. I haven't really been I guess nothing too much, and then also a lot because I haven't been watching like matches from first point to last like I tried to do, especially during this fall indoor European swing. But I've been watching a handful of points here and there.
Yeah. I suppose for you the peak season is July, August, isn't it? When all the courts are in the US, and it's easy timing for you. Us Europeans get it easy, don't we, Miles?
If I was European, I would definitely delight in a lot of the options I have to watch tennis. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Good to see you. Good to hear you. When was the last time the two of us were on together? I think it was maybe in between the Wimbledon US Open, were we?
Maybe that sounds about right. It hasn't been too long, but it's been a couple of months maybe.
Yeah. Good. I was going to ask you then. I think Anastasia was wanting to chat about the coaching situation of the baby three, as she called them. Not really too sure exactly what she was looking to talk about, but let's talk about Boris Becker and Holger Rune then. Have you discussed it at all with your guys?
I haven't really dug into it. Like, I've been aware of the headline that Boris Becker is now coaching Holger Rune, but I haven't watched a Holger Rune match from beginning to end to see how the dynamics of that coaching situation is working, and then how Holger Rune is playing because of that. But
yeah, in
theory, it sounds okay. Like, hasn't Boris Becker coached some players to Grand Slams or been on their coaching? He worked with Novak Djokovic, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Who else?
And he won.
Who else did he work with?
Well, did he have a time with Murray? No.
What was that?
Did he have a bit of a time with Andy Murray, or am I making that up?
That doesn't sound too far-fetched, actually. I'd have to Google it.
Just to interrupt this quick chat, Sinner has a match point here. It's on the second serve of Francis Tiafoe. He's just trying to go up the line with it, and he's found the net. So we're still playing.
I was hoping things in this matchup between Sinner and Tiafoe would be a little bit more interesting and reminiscent of the last time they played here in 2021.
Yeah, I mentioned that a few times. Did you hear me saying about it was getting a wee bit feisty. Mild-mannered Jannik wasn't happy with big foes, getting the crowd on side and, obviously overcoming the first set deficit. I
think both of them have grown in their career since that moment, actually. Sinner maybe a little bit more so because he's higher ranked and has kept his ranking up and won some big events, whereas Tiafoe is still kind of trying to get in to the 500, 1,000 champion range. But I think Sinner learned a lot. I think he learned a lot about like how to play with the crowd, how to use that to your advantage. And before, he may have had like a more stoic approach to tennis. And I think he still is pretty much a cool, calm, and collected guy. But since that moment, I've definitely seen him like just, I don't want to use the word pander, but just use the crowd in his advantage if he makes a great shot and gets the momentum and energy from that. So
yeah, I mean, I think there was a hint that he was maybe thinking about trying to do that again at the start of the second set. He was getting the crowd on board.
I saw that. Yeah, when he was like during the changeover, Francis.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, and I don't know if you saw it right at the start of the stream. We were talking about Francis Tiafoe. I think Terry and Jane and Max were getting involved. We were talking about Francis Tiafoe's season. All right, so I was saying, it's a wee bit lukewarm for me, in my opinion. All his eggs were going in the basket of, I need to have a good New York. I can feed off the crowd in New York. I can win my big tournament here. This can be my big event. Obviously got beat off Ben Shelton, and then but the season as a whole, I mean, but you can't say he's been a bad season because he's won 2 titles.
Yeah,
so where does my question was, where does Francis Tiafoe sit in the hierarchy of tennis right now? Is he a guy that's just always going to be like a problem to the big names, or can he be a guy that can mix it with the big names? If you get my meaning.
Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. I think in the current situation, with like the elite of the elite being Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz, I feel like Tiafoe is a solid B player in the tier. Like they're
he in the second tier.
I'd put him in the second tier, and he's close, not dangerously close, but close depending on how he does in the next 6 months to being possibly on the tier beneath that, C tier. I don't want to see him do that, but his results just in the past month and some change have not been up to snuff of a top 10 player. But his season as a whole, it's hard for me to like lump it into the bad category because he's won 2 titles, like you said. Yes, there were 2 250s, but before this season, he only had one title to his name.
Yeah. So 2018, wasn't it? I couldn't believe that.
It was a while. It had been a while. He would get to finals maybe once every season, but he wasn't winning any. And he also has a semifinal at a 1,000 at Indian Wells this season. That's definitely good as well. I mean, getting to the quarterfinal of the U.S. Open is roundabout where he should be, so it hasn't been a bad year. It's just been I don't think him getting to the top 10 has really elevated his play like I thought it was going to. Because once he won that Stuttgart title right before Wimbledon, I thought that was going to elevate him and he could have a very great Wimbledon. But how he lost to Dimitrov and then the summer series before the U.S. Open wasn't spectacular at all. So
yeah, and
definitely room for improvement.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to delve into because I'm looking at Alex de Minaur as well. I'm going, are these kind of players just going to be players that can annoy the big guns? But just to kind of say, breaking news, Jannik Sinner has reached the semi-finals. He's taken out Big Foe, a thumbs up by Francis as he clips in there and they shake hands and embrace. Do you think Francis Tiafoe is just maybe looking to get this season done, see out Paris and go, cool, let's go back, chill?
Yeah, because I don't think statistically he's really in the mix to get into that one of those last eight spots at the ATP finals in Turin. So I can't blame him for wanting to kind of stick his feet up, probably go to Tunisia or something and enjoy the coast and enjoy time with his girlfriend and, just recharge. Because honestly, there's room for improvement. I don't think he reached, outside of the U.S. Open, he didn't reach the 4th round at any of the other Grand Slams last season. So if he really wants to, he could have if he recharges and does what he needs to do in the off season, the first 5 or 6 months of the season could be a place where he makes up some ground for, not being amazing at the slams last year. So
yeah. I mean, I'll keep you here for 5 minutes more if that's all right, Miles, because I just want to tap into that knowledge. Just to, again, and we'll go into the semi-finals, but just before we do, in 2024, what does Francis Tiafoe like? What do you see the goals as being like? Is he going to put all his eggs into the I can do well at the US Open? Is he going to expand? What are you saying if you're his coach?
If I'm Tiafoe's coach, what would I say?
Yeah, what are you putting? You're sitting there on January the 1st, and you're saying Happy New Year, Francis. Right, this is what you're going to be setting out for this year. What's the aims for Francis Tiafoe in 2024?
The aim is to get back inside the top 10 at probably the beginning of the year. So that means you should be circling Australia, maybe Acapulco, Dubai, Indian Wells and Miami to really flex your stuff on the hard courts, because you know that's a surface you're good on. And make a push for the top 5. Make a push for getting one of those 1000s. Yeah, I mean, make a push for it. Make a push for it. I mean, top 5 could literally mean number 5, and I feel like Taylor Fritz was number 5 in the world off the heels of a good 2022 winning a 1000, and Tiafoe doesn't have a 1000. So if he locks in on just like that goal, which is picking up a 1000 or even a 500, he doesn't even have a 500 to his name. Those kind of wins need to go in the bank for me to elevate him to like the B group to the A group. So hopefully he's having those kind of conversations. If I was his coach, I would tell him how close he is to being able to disrupt some of the names at the top if he kind of, buckles down and uses the things that he has that maybe the other top players don't, which is kind of, like he has amazing speed. He has the great showmanship. He can use the crowd to kind of get energy. Maybe if his own energy isn't great, a lot of other players aren't necessarily wonderful at that. He's in an interesting position. And also, I would also remind him, just to kind of keep it even, right? I would tell him that he's not necessarily playing the worst tennis of his life, and he has so much more to do in his career. I think if he manages his body, which is at the core of all of this, I can see him lasting on the other side of the official end of the Big 3 era when Rafa and Novak, when they officially retire. That opens up a different landscape of who can win big tournaments. So he's only, I think he'll be 26 next year.
Yeah, he's still a very, very young man, isn't he? So,
Okay,
semi-finals then. Semi-finals tomorrow. We've got Tsitsipas, Medvedev. One that I described as particularly interesting, with Dance Gate, as I called it. Both guys, not pals, not friends. Medvedev 63 wins, which I think equals his record and equals as many as Alcaraz.
He has 63 wins.
63 wins. I'm sure I read that earlier on the ATP website. He equals his all-time best, and he's equaled the amount of wins that Alcaraz has won this year. Let me find it. Because I might be talking nonsense. But anyway, who's winning that one? Whilst I find that.
Medvedev is the defending champion in Vienna, so I'll give him an edge. I think Medvedev beat Shapovalov in the final last year, and Medvedev even though it's an indoor hard courts from tournament to tournament these days aren't changing that much. So a hard court matchup, I have to give the edge to Medvedev. But then again, I'm looking at this clip of the Dance Gate. Tsitsipas has beaten Medvedev on a hard court before. If I'm taking stock into who's had the better season, both of them have gotten to Grand Slam finals, but Medvedev has had more of the overwhelming success on the tour events. So I think I'll give it to Medvedev. Probably maybe a 7-5, 6-4. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not too much of a difference besides one break here, one break there kind of thing.
Yeah. It'll be interesting anyway how the pair interact. These two, as I said to you, aren't friends. And then Rublev Sinner. I thought Rublev was really impressive. I don't know if you saw much of the Zverev match. He just always, even though Zverev won the second set, I always thought Rublev just had that extra gear, that extra edge. And in parts he was unplayable. So I just, again, against Sinner, first set, the first 10-15 minutes of that match, Sinner was hitting the ball, absolutely diving it in. So just this one's going to be really good as well.
If you like all-out brute force from the back of the court, then Sinner and Rublev is a rivalry that should definitely tickle your fancy.
Do you know what the head-to-head goes to us? I'm trying to maybe find.
I'm not sure what the head-to-head is. I'm sure they've played a couple of times, but at this point, I would imagine.
I'll have a look. Well, you tell me your thoughts. I'll have a look.
I think Rublev is my favorite going in, just because he's off the final of Shanghai a week or so ago. What was between Shanghai and this tournament that he may have played? Was
Tokyo?
there Tokyo? Oh yeah, last week was Tokyo, Stockholm, and Antwerp. Did he play any of those? I'm trying. I feel like he did, but obviously he didn't win.
Let me tell you.
I don't know, but I feel like Rublev. gets a slight edge. I mean, we're talking like 51-49. If I'm giving 51 points to anybody, I think I'll give it to Rublev, just because I feel like he has just the sniff more confidence.
Right.
That's just a sniff, especially after beating Zverev, which is a matchup that hasn't always particularly gone his way. Yeah, and I believe Sinner is not Sinner, excuse me. I believe Rublev is a former champion of Vienna.
Yeah. No, certainly is. I mean, I'm looking at the head-to-head, 3-2 to Jannik Sinner. They've met 5 times. 3-2 to Jannik Sinner. Where have they met? They met in Miami this year on the outdoor hard. Sinner took it 6-2, 6-4. Before that, Rublev beat him on the clay and Roland Garros. Obviously, but it was a retirement from Sinner in 2022. I didn't quite remember that, if I'm being honest. Monte Carlo Masters 2022, Sinner won it in clay. Barcelona, Sinner won it in clay. And their first ever meeting here in Vienna was in 2020. Rublev was leading.
Must have got that one. Yeah.
Well, he was leading, but Jannik Sinner had to retire. So out of the 2 wins of Rublev, both times have been Jannik Sinner retiring, which is quite a unique stat. But yeah, so you're looking at maybe a Medvedev Sinner final then.
I would look at a Medvedev Rublev final. Right. Medvedev Rublev final, and then all 4 of these players are going to be meeting again in a couple of weeks, either in Paris and then for sure in Turin, because all of them have qualified. Yeah, Rublev, Sinner, Tsitsipas is still on the outskirts, but I mean, it looks like he's most likely going to qualify unless he does.
It's the first time. I think is it not right? So I think it's the 4. Is it not the top 4 seeds that are in the semi-finals? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think so. I think
and
that's
it's the first time. I heard it in the commentary earlier on. It's the first time since 1991 that this has been done in Vienna.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
So yeah, it's really good. You know, I love it when players can cause upsets, but I do love it when the seeds rise to the top, and then we can see the best tennis. So it's going to be an interesting one.
I don't dislike it, but just in this section of the season, I feel like I'm going to see these matches in a couple of weeks anyway. You know, so I was kind of hoping that Tiafoe would actually. I mean, besides taking away like my fandom of his, patriotism and fan of him, I was hoping that he would actually win this 500, just to kind of switch it up a little bit, because Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Rublev, and Sinner, they're
the ones that are always winning it, aren't they?
All 4 of them solidly make up like the upper echelon of that second tier. So and all of them are going to the finals of Turin. So I'm not like I don't think I'm going to be glued to my television. I don't think I'm going to be glued to my television, but if I had to choose, I'd much rather see Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Rublev, and Sinner battle it out for the ATP finals title than the Vienna title. That's just me personally. But I mean, good tennis potentially.
Listen, there's loads of good tennis between now and the end of the year, and I'm sure we'll speak, probably one of the year-end reviews or an ATP weekly. But let's close it off on that kind of glorious note. It's been really good to catch up with you, Miles, and let's do it again soon.
Take care. Always fun talking to you.
Thanks, Chief. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.